5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammer's popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammer's.
Patterson's Appliances has been helping families like yours find quality home appliances from trusted brands including Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid for over 55 years. Our knowledgeable appliance specialists know how to outfit your kitchen or laundry room with the right appliances to meet your needs. We service what we sell with our own in-house factory-trained service technicians, and for the DIYers, our parts department is always ready to help customers find the appliance parts they need. Patterson's Home Appliances, because we care.
Welcome to the Friday Night Scoreboard, the free medical clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. I'm David Queener. Jonathan Cox will be with me momentarily. He's on his way here now. Just talk to him. Big rivalry game tonight, though. OEB game of the week. Coalfield and Oliver Springs, always a tough battle. It doesn't matter which team comes out on top. They both lay it all out on the line. They did tonight. So congratulations to Coalfield on a big victory tonight. And if I heard right from the guys down at Oliver Springs when they was giving some scores there, that they said that Clinton came by. When I came in here, it was 31-28 Clinton. I believe Clinton won 35-31. So that's a big win for the Dragons. Puts them at 5-4. You know, and I'm gonna brag a little bit on myself. Either way they go next week, win or lose. I said 5-5 or 6-4. So I'm good either way. If it'll be 6-4, it's fine. The only thing that I didn't get right this year was I thought they might make the playoffs this year. But looks like it can be no worse than 5-5 for the Dragons, and that's just that's a huge, it's just huge for Clinton. I mean, they've turned the program around a little bit, and Coach Keith is building the program there, and you know, it might be a little earlier than what he anticipated, but you know, so far a really good year for Clinton. I'm sure there's a couple of games they would like to have had back and taken care of, but I think the biggest thing tonight is Oak Ridge goes down to Dobbins-Bennett, falls to 2-7. I've been told this. I don't know if I'm right or not, and I'm sure that guy that called last week that's been watching Oak Ridge since 1947 can probably straighten me out. I think this is the first time Oak Ridge has ever lost 7 games in a year. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true or not. They've got a tough game next week with Campbell County. I don't know. The last score I heard on Campbell County and Sevier County was 7-0 right before halftime. So I don't know that. I don't know the Anderson County score. I've not seen it. And it very well could be up here on the scoreboard right now. I didn't know that was up yet. Last time I looked, it wasn't there. Bearden did? Yes. Anderson County goes down, I'm told 15-12 by Bearden. I think everybody thought that'd be a low-scoring ball game tonight. Be a defensive battle. For a while it was. It looked like, and it was. At one point it was 7-6, and then I think it was 12-7 or 14-7, something like that. So Bearden picks up another win. You know, Bearden team, it just keeps on chugging away. So I don't know who Anderson County ends up with next week. I know Clinton ends up with Campbell County at home. That'll be a big game there with them. I was trying to see, I know Rockwood won big tonight, 43-0. That's a big win for the Rockwood Tigers. And Coach Webb down there, big win. Well, it says 31-28. Maybe that's what the score was. I thought he said 35-20 to 31. I'll take it either way. It don't really matter. Central's playing really good football right now. Might be a team I would not want to play in the playoffs coming up here in about 2 weeks. Knoxville Catholic last night takes down Powell. Might be one of the best high school football games that I've watched this year. Really a really good game last night in the rain. Knoxville Catholic comes back and wins that game late, and just a really good game last night. Like I said, it might be the best high school football game that I've watched this year. I heard earlier that Kingston was up on Stone Memorial, but that game went back and forth. So I think there's still a little time left to play in that game. We'll see as the night rolls on here what that winds up to be for the night's over. We'll get a final on that before the night's over with. So Alcoa rose tonight. Nothing surprises you there with Alcoa. It looks like Jefferson County rose tonight. They've turned the program around at Jefferson County. It's took a little while, but they've got it turned around now. So Fulton wins tonight, and I reckon that was just a barn burner down to the last minute there with Farragut, just a barn burner on that game. So congratulations to the Falcons. Hardin Valley got their first win of the year tonight over William Blunt, 22-16. Congratulations to Coach Potter. Know him; he's a good guy. They get a W tonight. So that's there's some other games that I have not seen. Harriman and Oakdale. Last I heard, Oakdale was up in that game, and I've not seen the Midway and Greenback score. And I think the last I heard on that, it was 6-6. So that's been a while. So we'll see. We'll see what the final. We'll get some finals on those two there. And like I said, I still haven't seen the Campbell County, Sevier County game. Not unless it's flipped through so fast. 23-14. Sevier County wins that over Campbell County. So Campbell County's going to come in limping Friday night a little bit, but they always get up to play Clinton, always. So we'll see how that goes next week. But we're in week 10. 1 week of the regular season left. Next week we'll finish it up, and then we'll roll on to the playoffs. And I'll give you the rundown of the playoffs, how we're going to do it next Friday night. It'll be a little bit different. The show won't be probably quite as long because as the teams get eliminated and you get eliminated out, the show will get a little shorter each week. And we'll be around for a couple weeks, I'm sure. So we'll see who's left, and we'll make that decision every Friday night before we go off the air, whether we'll be back the next week or not. So I'd say for 2 weeks for sure, and we'll see how it rolls. So see how it all settles down to see where everybody's going to play out. We'll see how that plays out. And I said Campbell County's at Clinton next week. That's wrong. Campbell County is at Oak Ridge, I think, next week. Clinton has Carnes next week. Clinton has the Carnes Beavers next week. I told you wrong. Clinton's already played Campbell County and lost to them. I'm sorry, a little mistake. First mistake of my life. But everybody makes one occasionally. So, but like I said, week 10's in the books. It's been an up and down year for some teams, and some teams are happy right now. They know for sure they're going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs the following week, and some people will. When the game's over tomorrow night, and the game's over next Friday night, they'll go in and get their uniforms washed, and some of them are going to basketball, and some of them will maybe take a week off, and then they'll go right into winter workouts. So you know, it's a never-ending process with high school football, just like all the other football around, whether it's college or pros or anything. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next week or two for us to start seeing what actually takes place as far as the playoffs. There's always an upset or two. There's always somebody you think that's going to rule the roost, and you know, everybody starts in week 12 at 0-0. Everybody's zip. It's a new season. You start off, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So our number is 483, and I might as well just go ahead and tell you this: 865-483-8112. Get used to dialing that, because I think either tomorrow or Sunday morning you got to do the 865 thing. So here next Friday night you'll have to do the 865 thing. It's 865-483-8112 to get us right here on the Friday night scoreboard. If you want to talk to me and Cox, and you know, we'll talk a little Tennessee football a little later on, and we'll talk Tennessee, Alabama just a little bit later on. I don't know that there's a lot to talk about there. You know, Tennessee played fairly well last week. I'll say that. We'll see. We'll talk about it a little later on. We will take some calls, and we'll talk a little Tennessee football. It's Tennessee, Alabama week. It's always, you know, a big game, and I can just cross your fingers and hope, you know, Tennessee goes down and maybe pulls off a big upset. And it would be a big upset if Tennessee, I think they're a 24-point underdog, I believe I saw that right. And we'll see. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hey, David, I seen where Greenville rolled again. Have they been beat this year?
No, I don't think so. They're undefeated, I think. I'm almost positive I'm right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Greenville's been beat. They're pretty tough.
Well, I don't think nobody can beat them around. They probably win their section, I guess.
Yes, I would. I'm just going off what coaches have been saying about them and what everybody else says about them. You know, Coach Gaddis says it's the best team he's seen. He says they'll win 4A, and they could win 5A if they were in 5A, so I'll take his word for it. You know, they're just a really good football team, and you know, the two-time defendant. Yeah, Greenville is undefeated. They told me just now. You know, Greenville, Elizabethton is a team that's won it the last couple of years, and you know, I know Greenville beat them earlier in the year, so there'll be a little competition there to see between Elizabeth and Greenville. But that'll be it. It'll just be a little bit of competition. It won't be very much competition.
You think Joe Gaddis on his way out?
You know, I don't know. He's been here a while. He's been here a couple times, but he's been here a while. You know, he's had a lot of injuries this year. I'm definitely not taking up for him or making excuses for him. He can do that himself. So I know he's had trouble with the offensive line, and it's, you know, lost a lot of kids from last year. And I think this just happens every now and then, unfortunately, and it's happening to him. So there's a lot of firsts for him. You know, first time in 35 years to get beat by Carnes. If I'm right, the first time in history to lose 7 football games. So we'll see. There was a caller last week blamed it on something else besides anything I've talked about anyway. But we'll see what happens. He very well could be, and maybe he goes on his own. I mean, you know, he's been coaching a long time, and he's a Hall of Fame football coach. So I'm sure he's still got a little fire in him and still wants to do it. And we'll see. You know, we'll see at the end of the year what happens. But the main thing, it really don't matter what happens. They're going to the playoffs. Whether they're 3-7 after next week or 2-8, they're going to the playoffs. So anything can happen. They'll be just like everybody else in week 12. Their record will be 0-0. So, you know, so we'll see. They could get on a roll, and you know, I think they played really well in spurts since changing offense. They changed the offenses now about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we'll see what happens with them. Anything can happen in the playoffs. You know, I would be really worried if I was Greenville right now. I'd be worried about the COVID. COVID's me out or something. And I'm undefeated, you know, and then it don't matter. If you can't play, you can't play. So me and Cox talked about that just a little bit last week, but I would really be worried about that. So, you know, That's what I say about Oak Ridge. They've still got something to play for. It just won't be at home at Blankenship Field. It'll be on the road. So we'll see how it all plays out for Oak Ridge. But you know, they've had a tough year. But I can tell you this much: they've really not quit. Just for listening to the radio tonight, I mean, they fought all the way to the end tonight, and it was in the ball game late, and had a chance late in the ball game, and but you know, it's just one of those years.
Well, you know, that fan base down in Oak Ridge, they won't put up for a losing season.
They probably won't.
Yeah.
But you know, fan bases are fan bases. Those decisions will be by. Let's put it this way: I don't think the decision will be made by the fans. The decision will be made by the administration. So thank goodness for that, because a lot of fans think a lot of things should change fairly quickly when it doesn't happen. I mean, if that's the case, you know, we'd never have a coach at Clinton because they would never give him a chance. You got to give him a chance to build a program in it. I think it'd be hard to run Coach Gaddis off, because here's a team that played for a state championship last year. I mean, I guess you could just look at college and say, well, they're running Coach O off at LSU. Well, yeah, I guess they are, but look, he's going to walk out the door with $17 million. So he probably don't care. You know, Coach Gass is not making $17 million in a 4 or 5 year contract. He's making whatever a high school teacher makes and whatever his coaching supplement is. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Okay, David, have a good evening.
All right, see you, buddy. Thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
You're in the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Stone Memorial just went ahead of Kingston 34-33, and there's about 30 seconds left. It may be over by now.
Wow, that game's went back and forth. I mean, just like that all night long. It's went bang, bang, bang. So, wow, that might be considered a little bit of an upset.
Could be. McMahon County just beat Loudon 31-21.
Well, both of those teams, if they both go down there, maybe they both were looking ahead to next week's showdown in Kingston, Loudon and Kingston. Wow.
Could be. Midway beat Greenback 28-27.
Wow, another big game close. Okay.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Good caller, you on the air? Good caller. Good caller, you're on the air. Okay, don't want to talk. We'll get off. Call us back, caller, if you had a problem on your end. I know my end's working. I'm talking to people, and I can hear them, and they can hear me. We've had conversations. So 865-483-8112. Give us a call here on the free medical clinic Friday night scoreboard. Folks, great sponsors this year. They're all around to help if you don't have insurance. FMCOR.org to get you the help you need. Just give them, get on the line there and get a phone number and give them a call. Anderson, Morgan, and Roane counties. And, I think one of their mottos is don't fear about not having insurance. You've got some help here, medical insurance. Don't put something off that you need to go and go see a doctor. Check FMCOR.org out and let them help you out. But like I said, don't live in fear that you will not have any medical insurance, because that's a great organization, and we've appreciated them dearly this year, sponsoring us here on this show every Friday night, and they're great sponsors, and like I said, we appreciate them. I seen an interesting sponsor tonight on our OEB Law Game of the Week there. Crooked something, beef or Crooked Farms or something. I think they do a little landscaping stuff, clearing off and stuff, and then have, sell some beef and stuff, grass-fed cows and stuff. I heard them talking about their prices. I heard their guys talking about a price, something was $11 and something, and theirs was $5 something, I think. So, glad to see those people sponsoring. I know there's a bunch of sponsors on there that's been on there for a long time, so I don't know, that one just caught me off guard tonight, just seeing that with that cow and stuff on there. I thought it was pretty interesting. So, appreciate people jumping on board and helping us out here at Channel 12 the Game of the Week. Brad and his gang does a good job to do that. It's a lot of effort. All I'd say is go with him one Friday night. Now be careful if you go with him. He might put you to work, but go with him and just watch what he does and what all it takes to pull it off. It is not easy. He does a really good job. Chandler does a good job here on this end. When we come in here, he's ready for us and we're ready to go. And somebody asks a question, I don't know it. He looks it up for me right quick and hollers in here and tells me what it is. So Chandler's doing a good job here, but it's not an easy job what Brad does to bring those games. And let me tell you, folks, I've been on that other end down there, what those guys are doing, calling those games, and I know there's people that get to see their grandsons, get to see their granddaughters cheer, or get to see the band that they're not able to get out for some health reason or something, and they get to watch it on TV, and it means the world to them. So for OEB to be the title sponsor and giving away $1,000 every Friday night to some of these schools, that $1,000 goes a long ways. Okay, they're selling hot dogs and hamburgers, and they're doing everything to raise money for their boosters and for the schools and everything else. So that $1,000 goes a long ways to help those schools out, and it's appreciated. It's just appreciated big time. So if you see a sponsor when we take a commercial break and you might do a little business in where that sponsor's at, tell them you appreciate them sponsoring us here on whether it's a game of the week or whether it's a Friday night scoreboard. Tell them you appreciate what they're doing for high school sports in the Roane, Anderson, and Morgan County areas. And just, let them know you appreciate what they're doing. So, like I said, we do appreciate the free medical clinic. You can give us a call here at 865-483-8112, and that'll get a hold of me. And like I said, Cox will be in here in a few minutes, and we'll run this thing from one end to the other, and we'll probably be wrong on everything we say, but that'll be all right too. We'll do our best. So, like I said, congratulations to Clinton tonight on a big win. That game was back and forth too. I listened to Jim Harris, and it was an interesting call tonight there with that game, and Clinton was back and forth. So congratulations to Clinton. And it looks like the Harris County had a hard-fought game, low-scoring game with Bearden tonight, and but high school football is winding down. It's just, who can believe it? Who can believe this, that it's just about over? I mean, just think about this. About 10 weeks ago, we kicked this thing off, and now we're down to the last, getting ready to roll in to the last high school football game of the regular season next Friday night. It's going to be the last time. Could be the last time some seniors ever put a football uniform on. There'll be some young men, they'll go on, and they'll play football somewhere. There'll be some cheerleaders, they'll go on. There'll be some band members, they'll go on. But it could be their last Friday night to cheer or march and or to play. So get out and see a high school football game next Friday night, or get out and catch a playoff game. There'll be some good ones. And if you want a couple places to go, number one, go to Cofield. You want to see a show, go to Anderson County. They put a pregame show on up there. It's one of the best. You're just not gonna beat it. Go up there and catch them. You want to see a really good football game next week. It's apparent that both of them are looking forward to the next week and not worrying about this week. Loudon and Kingston. That'll be a huge game right there. So go out and catch that game next week. I think the Rockwood and Oneida game, even though it's not a region game, it could have some implications if Oneida needs to win that game on some tiebreaker stuff. So it's a big game for Oneida to win, and it's even bigger for Rockwood to probably knock them off and say they knocked them out of a seed. Maybe I think it's winning the district or winning the region. So that's big. That'll be a big football game. That'll be someplace hard place to win too. Quick, call me on the air.
Have you gotten a final for the Kingston Stone Memorial game yet?
There was about 30 seconds to go, and Stone Memorial was up. What'd you say?
34 to 33, Stone Memorial.
34 to 33, Stone Memorial won the game.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
So you heard it there, 34-33, Stone Memorial knocks off Kingston. Big, just a big loss for Kingston. I'm sure they might have been looking forward to next week a little bit with Loudon. That's been talked about like you wouldn't believe in the last 2 or 3 weeks, that game. And that is our OEB game of the week next week is Kingston and Loudon. So, there's you another good football game to go see if you want to go see a good football game next week. You can get out. Clinton will be at home next week against Carn. You can see the leading rusher in the nation next week at Clinton, and he's a real deal, folks, if you ain't seen him. So he's good. Go ahead, Colin, you're on the air.
Hey, Mr. David, how's it going?
Going good, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Is Rockwood playing York Institute next week?
I thought our guy said Rockwood plays Oneida next week. Now, could I be wrong? Yeah, I've already been wrong once, so I could be wrong for a second time. Because I thought they said that game comes down. I mean, that's what I thought they said, but maybe they didn't say that. I don't know about you. I don't know if they play York or not. I'm not for sure. I couldn't tell you. I'll try to find out here after a while, and I'll talk. I'm sure you'll call back in again later on, but I'll try to find out. If you're watching, I'll try to let you know who Rockwood plays. But like I said, I thought our guy said Rockwood played Oneida next Friday night. I might have misunderstood though. Okay, Rockwood. Okay, there's telling me in the back Rockwood plays York Institute. So I don't know who plays Oneida then. So you're right. York plays Rockwood next Friday night.
Now, Rockwood beat Oneida, but yet the other team that was on top beat them.
Correct. You're correct.
Going to be talking Tennessee later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk it a little bit. I mean, there's not too much to say about Tennessee and Alabama. I mean, I think Alabama's won 14 or 15 years in a row, and, it's a big, you shouldn't have to tell somebody it's a big football game. It's a game that Tennessee needs to win. It'd really be a big signature win for Josh Heupel. What's Tennessee's chances tomorrow? I don't know. Injury-wise, I don't know if Hooker, I don't know if they've said anything about Hooker this week to say whether he's going to play or not play. I'll say this, if Hooker don't play, I don't think Tennessee has too much of a shot Saturday night. Because the Milton kid, to me, he's just not the man. That's just me. He's just not the man.
Yeah.
They're not asking me, but if they were, he needs to probably get back in the transfer portal again and go on. And I think after the season's over with, you'll see him back in it probably. But I think Tennessee's got to have Hooker Saturday night in order to win that football game. Now, could they win it with Milton? Yeah, they probably could. But he's not really showed me a lot. I mean, I will not be excited tomorrow night if he's a quarterback. It will not. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if he's a quarterback if I'll watch that football game. Okay? That's me. I'm sure I will watch some of it, but, I'm more excited tomorrow to watch LSU and Ole Miss than I am Tennessee and Alabama. Now, like I said, it depends on who's quarterback. I think we have a fighting chance. That fighting chance might not last past kickoff, but you at least think you got a chance with Hooker. He's just the better of the two. But, I might not. Now, like I said, I might not watch it Saturday night if he's the quarterback. I might just say, hey, I'll just wait and see on the ESPN later on night about midnight who the winner was. And if they win it, they win. Tennessee was to win it, they win it. And if they lose, I'd say, okay, let's move on. It's another loss. Let's go. Because there's a few more losses coming down the pike. I mean, Georgia for sure, Kentucky possibly. We'll see what happens with Kentucky. See if they run out of juice after being all hyped up, talked about. They were going to go down and beat Georgia, and that didn't happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, but if it's Milton at the quarterback Saturday night, I don't know that I'll watch.
I have a question. I watched that ball game last night, that Thursday night game.
Yeah.
And was that the girl that kicked that field goal there at halftime for that money or whatever, and she made it? She's like a girl.
I don't know about that. I didn't hear him say anything about it. Now, it doesn't mean I missed it, but I watched the whole game. So I don't know. I'm not for sure.
Oh, I just didn't know if you watched halftime or not.
Oh, wait, no, wait. You're talking about a girl trying to win a free set of $1,000 for a free set of tires. Yes.
Yeah.
There was a girl soccer player from, I assume she was from Powell, because that's usually they do it at the home field, and she hit the crossbars. She almost made it. Yeah, that was a girl that kicked that. A soccer player. She said she's a soccer player, and you know, I thought when she kicked it, it was going to. I thought she had it. I thought it was going to be. It was going to be. I wish they'd let her kick it again because you know it was raining. I wish they'd let her try it again. But she, from the ones I've saw on Thursday night, she might be one of the better ones that I've got to watch anyway. To do that to win that set of tires, $1,000 worth of tires anyway.
Okay, I'll call back in later when Jonathan gets
All
in.
right, call back in, buddy. We'll talk to you. All right, see you, man.
Talk to you. All right, bye.
Quick call, you on the air?
Yeah, Oneida plays Coalfield next week.
Okay. Thank
And
you for answering
Oakdale
that.
leads Herman 35-22 in the fourth quarter.
Wow, that game is running behind. Everybody else has done gone home, gone to bed.
Yeah, I don't know what the delay was, but it is. I agree with you. It's running behind. But Oakdale's going for their 6th win.
Well, that's big for Oakdale.
Oh, yeah, big.
Yeah, that's big. All right, thanks, caller. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. So that settles that. Rockwood plays York. Coalfield goes to Oneida. Like I said, it'll be, you know, that game's always a good game. So that'll be a knockdown drag out no matter what. They don't really need anything to play for. They just need to say we're going to be there at 7:30 or whatever time the kickoff is, and let's go, because Coalfield will go ready, and I would be willing to bet that Oneida will be ready. So that'll be a good high school football game, too, next Friday night to catch that game. So plenty of good high school football games on tap next week. Hey, let's jump out, and we're going to take our first commercial break of the night here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. We're going to jump out. We'll take our first break. When we come back, give us a call, 865-483-8112. We'll take your calls, and we'll talk a little high school football. We'll see you back here just in a couple minutes.
This holiday season, give the gift of health to all kinds of families in your community. Many of our neighbors can't afford medical care. In fact, over 14,000 of those living in Anderson, Roane, and Morgan County live in fear of becoming sick or injured because they don't have health insurance and can't afford to go to the doctor. But you can change that. On Tuesday, November the 30th, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, give at fmcor.org to help provide unmet medical care needs in your community. Together, we hope to raise $10,000 in 24 hours. November the 30th, Give Tuesday, a day to remember those in need during the holidays. Give at fmcor.org.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Your grandmother's fine china, those trendy sneakers, your collection of hand-carved duck decoys. Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Oh, now you do your job.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And welcome back to the free medical clinic Friday night scoreboard. Interesting night. Tonight, like I said, Oakdale leads Harriman late. Nobody knows why the game's still going on, but Oakdale's leading that ball game, looks like more than likely going to win their 6th game of the year. Congratulations to Oakdale. I don't know how many young men they've got. Somebody told me maybe just 15. So, congratulations to Oakdale if they do pull that, if they get that win tonight and go to win number 6. That's a really, really good year. And then congratulations to Midway tonight for getting Greenback. That's a big win for them. But I guess the two biggest things tonight to talk about is looks like Loudon went down and Kingston has went down. So 2 teams that was eyeing next week for a big game. It's still a big game. Don't get me wrong. It's still a big game. But maybe they both were looking a little ahead on the schedule to each other. That's why that went down. Like I said, Campbell County loses tonight. They've got to come down to Oak Ridge, and I'm sure Oak Ridge will be a little angry next Friday night after losing another one and losing their 7th of the year. Not a lot of phone calls tonight for Oak Ridge people. Figured there was one caller he would call. He's probably waiting on Cox to come because he knows I won't talk to him. So I banned him from me anyway. He's a fair weather fan. That's all he is. He only calls when it's going good. He don't call when times are tough. He can't get on the phone then. So I'll leave that at that. But congratulations to Clinton tonight with a big win. And like I said, we'll get ready for the playoffs coming up after next week, and I'm almost I don't know of any. The only thing I know that's online next week that I know of anyway is the Campbell County Oak Ridge game is for 3rd or 4th place in the region or district or whatever they're calling it. That's the only thing that I know that's on the line for next week. Oak Ridge wins their 3rd. Campbell County wins their 3rd. It's just a little bit different seating on who you'll play. Just be a different opponent. Instead of playing who number 1's on the other end at 4 seed, it'll be a little bit different. So that game will be a little interesting. It has just very, very little ramifications though. So we'll see what goes on. And the 5-star guys walked in here with an orange cup. That's what it looks like. Well, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, ain't you?
I wish.
You probably think Tennessee's going to win tomorrow, don't you? Yeah. Yeah.
It's lucky to be in that game they were in.
Well, here's what I said earlier about the Tennessee-Alabama game, Martin. I just made a quick comment. Our one caller calls, and wants to know if we're going to talk about it later. And I told him, yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit. I said this. I said if as far as I know, they've not named a quarterback for tomorrow. If they have, I've not heard it. But if Milton's the quarterback tomorrow, I will not be watching the ball game.
There's no way you can trust Joe Milton with the football.
No, none.
There's no way.
I mean, zero.
There's no. He deserves. He doesn't deserve to touch the field again. He walked out of bounds. Walked out of bounds. He didn't fight for the end zone. He didn't try to throw it.
He didn't try nothing.
He looks up at the clock as if you didn't know when the ball was hiked it was the last play.
So
I don't know. Have y'all talked about the South Dole getting upset by Carter?
Last I heard, South Doyle was up by 1.
42-38 final. That put a mix of the whole playoff situation now has changed in Anderson County's region. Anderson County was the 1. There's going to be a three-way tie for second. And South Doyle will go to the 4 seed and go play Greenville in the playoffs, first round.
That's not good.
They went from the 2 seed to the 4 seed.
Well, it's not good that they got to go to Greenville, that's for sure. Their season will be over after week 12 probably. But you never know, man. Somebody might go up there and get Greenville, you know?
They ain't going.
You don't know. You know, as I said earlier, right now, if I was a coach, what my number 1 goal would be, I don't know that I wouldn't put my team in a building somewhere to keep them away from people just because of the coach. I just think, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I won't be shocked if it doesn't happen to somebody.
You're not hearing as many COVID wins and losses right now as you were 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you sort of wonder about that just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I know a lot of people's talked about it and said different things, but you know, maybe that's true. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. Great caller, you're on the air. Hey.
Character win, 31-28.
Clinton won?
Yeah, Clinton won. Come back and won.
Yeah, it's an exciting game.
Was it like 21-7 or 19-7 or something like that at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, 19-7, and Gibbs made it 19-13 right before halftime, kicked a 47-yard field goal.
Hold on, I thought Gibbs was leading.
No,
Clinton was up at halftime.
Yeah, Gibbs didn't lead till after halftime sometime.
They had the score wrong on Coach T. They had Gibbs winning that game at one time, 19 or...
No, I was wrong.
Okay, it was wrong.
It was 20-19 with about 9 minutes to go. Gibbs was leading, and Andy King, he just took the ball away from one of the Gibbs running backs and ran about 60 yards.
It's kind of weird watching Gibbs play football and them try to run the spread. I went over and watched them play Fulton, and they played Carter really close, and we were watching them play Fulton. They did not look good, but it looks odd watching them trying to run the spread. That's hats off to Clinton now. That's good. They needed a win.
Yeah, that's a good, character building win. We're not in the playoffs. That's disappointing, but the kids came out and fought, and Gibbs, they're about in the same boat we are. Both teams played really hard, and Clinton was able to pull out the win and play Carnes next week. I don't know how much Carnes is going to play Bishop, but they're already in the playoffs. But
they're going to play him every snap. He's trying to win the. If he plays 2 games in the playoff, Sleepy, he's going to be the all-time leading rusher in the state of Tennessee in a single season, unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, you're right. He'll probably might as well play. Yeah, he's going for that record for sure.
It'd be hard to tell that kid you're going to set.
Yeah, you sure would be.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, what's Clinton's record right now?
5-4.
Yeah, 5-4, and I believe we're going to have an 11th game. I think they're trying to schedule another team. So hopefully they can do that. So that would be good.
Sleepy, you know why Clinton didn't play Central last week on the off week? Central was wanting to play and Clinton didn't play them. Is that? I heard it was administration saying no, and that Coach Keith wanted to play.
But during the bye week?
Yeah, you had an open date last Friday, and Central had an open date, and both of y'all had a COVID win, and Central wanted to play. And I heard Coach Keith wanted to play, and I heard the admin team at Clinton High School refused to play.
I never heard anything about that. I heard you talking about it earlier in the season, but I never really heard anything about that.
Yeah.
So I know Coach Keith, yeah, that COVID, when we didn't play Cherokee that week, so that took a lot out of them being off that week. And but hopefully we can get an 11th game.
Why would you want an 11th game? I'm just wondering.
I just think the kids want to play. They're just hungry to win, and
Is that allowed? So you all can play a game the week of the first round of the playoffs?
I don't even think that's allowed, Sleepy.
Yes, I believe TSSAA allows you to play an extra game now.
I wouldn't think you could play an extra game right in the playoff thing. If you do, you won't play it on Friday night, I wouldn't think. We're trying to find that out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think because of the COVID, I think they're allowing an extra game for teams that don't make the playoffs.
So, what if you all had not had a COVID win? Would you still be allowed to play another game at the end of the season? Or is that a rule that you are getting to play another game because you lost one in the middle of the year?
I don't know for sure, but I think they just grant you an extra game if you don't make the playoffs.
Could that not hurt your gates at the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't
Everybody
think
across the state was playing
I don't think it will be a.
So it's like a bowl game.
I don't think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think it'll be played on Friday night. They might play it on Saturday or excuse me, or on Thursday. But I'll be shocked if they allow that to happen on Friday night. I would be.
Yeah, you're probably right. Though, if they let a lot of these teams that don't make the playoffs play, TSSAA probably get half the gate like they do a playoff game. So
I guarantee that.
Yeah, they're not going to let Clinton play on Friday night and compete. When just right up the highway, there'll be a possibility that you could have some people who want to go watch Anderson County. They're going to come watch Clinton play. I don't see that happening. Personally, I would if I was Coach Lockard, and one of my basketball players was on the football team, he'd be through after next Friday night because I'd want him on the basketball floor.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Clinton's supposed to be loaded this year in basketball. I think they've got everybody back.
Boy.
So
if I was a basketball player, if I played both sports and my season was over with football,
I'd be over.
Because you know how good you're back. You possibly have the first chance in since the mid-'90s to make the state tournament?
Yep.
Right, yeah, that's a good point. I think Clinton's got about 5 players that plays football that plays basketball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'd be...
a meaningless football game. Go out there and get hurt and lose your basketball season.
No, that's not happening to me. I'm going on the basketball team. I'm going on the basketball floor. I'm sorry.
Maybe we get Troy Saxton to call in and see what he'll do.
Hey, Brad, have you heard about an extra game that you can play? Okay. We're going to find out and let you know. I've asked somebody from TSSAA to call us too, so.
Okay. What about that Farragut-Fulton game? It looked like a wild one.
Yeah, it was a wild one. I think Fulton had about 460 yards of total offense. The quarterback got dismissed from the team a couple weeks ago. They've played the last 2 weeks with their stud running back their stud wide receiver played quarterback. He rushed for over 250 yards tonight. Probably threw for another 100. Fulton's struggling right now, and Farragut's not any good.
Fulton won, didn't they?
Yeah, Fulton won. They won with about a minute and a half to play in the game. They went down and scored. Then Farragut comes out and throws about a 50 or 60 yard pass to start the drive. And as soon as the drive goes to right there, Fulton sacks them twice and intercepts it on 4th down to seal the win. Good high school football game, but it's amazing to me how Bearden and Farragut and Hardin Valley
won tonight.
Could have 2,000 kids in their school, and all 3 of them be so bad at football.
They're not too bad, I don't think.
Who?
Bearden and Farragut.
Well, one of them's going to miss the playoffs. I've watched both of them play in person, and neither one of them are real good.
Yeah, man. Farragut about beat Bradley Central last week, and they've got some good wins this year. And Beard, knocked off Oak Ridge, knocked off AC. So
Beard beat Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge has 7 losses.
Yeah. Oak Ridge is not very good. Not a very good football team.
Harrison County's playing with a freshman quarterback who should be playing JV.
Well, AC would have won that game
Yeah, Sleepy, trust me, I've watched a lot of football this year, and those two teams are not real good.
Yeah. Oak Ridge is better than the record. They about beat DB tonight, so they play a tough schedule, too.
Who's Oak Ridge beat this year, Sleepy?
They beat Clinton and Lenore City.
And you're telling me they're better than their record?
Yeah.
No, I don't buy that.
I don't buy it either. They had a chance to beat Farragut, who's won about four games.
I mean, you are what you are, but, they're 2-8, but they're a dangerous team come playoff time. About beat DB tonight, DB's supposed to, a decent team, I believe. I haven't seen them play.
Yeah, DB went to 7-2 tonight, and Oak Ridge went to 2-7.
That surprised me to score that game. I thought Dobbins Bennett would win by more than that, but we'll see. Next week, Oak Ridge and Campbell County. Campbell County losing tonight. That surprised me with Sevier County. That score.
I'm getting multiple texts, Sleepy. I got a text saying last year you could play an 11th game. This year you can. I've got another text saying you can play an extra game. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I'm
here. Yeah, they're trying to line one up. Clinton is. So.
Yeah.
Maybe we can play Farragut or Beard.
That'd be good. Well,
one's in the playoffs.
One of them will be in the playoffs as a 4 seed, and the other one will not be. So one of them will be available.
Will they play next week?
Yeah, they play the final game of the year, and it's for a playoff berth. Loser goes home. Winner gets to go play a playoff game and be done.
That'll be a big crowd at that game.
Yeah. Farragut didn't travel well tonight. I was kind of surprised. Tonight was probably the worst crowd that Fulton has had this year. Not many Fulton people and not many.
Weather, buddy. Changed. Got a little chilly.
How was the crowd tonight with the Gibbs Clinton game?
Oh, it was a good crowd. Both schools had big crowd.
Gotcha. All right, Sleepy. We'll have a good one. We'll get you an answer.
All right. Thank you.
See you, man. I'm going to be shocked if they allow another game. That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've already been wrong once tonight, maybe twice. So, but a third time wouldn't surprise me a bit. So, I personally, if I'm Clinton and I go out and let's just say they beat Carnes next Friday night, because you don't know what's going to happen in that game. We don't know if Carnes is going to play the young running back Bishop the whole game or not. And if I'm sure Clinton's going to go all out for that, and if Clinton wants to pull that win off, and you go out with a winning record, 6-4, I don't believe I want to run. I don't believe I want to go with momentum going into the winter workouts.
To stand behind my comment, DB's beat 2 teams with a winning record, so I don't think they're real good either.
DB's probably not real good. They're
They got beat by Jefferson County and Greenville. Jefferson County, not historically real good in the last 7 years.
How many games has Lenore City won?
I don't know if Lenore City's won 2. I'll find out. I'm not sure they've won 2, but
so we know Clinton's got 5 wins, and one of those 5 wins is a COVID win. We'll take it as 5 wins.
Go 5-5 and be happy.
Man, I look really good right now because I said that's what I thought Clinton would be, 5-5 at the best, 6-4. And the only thing I thought at 6-4, you probably would make the playoffs. So we're not going to make the playoffs, but is there a possibility at 6-4? Yeah, there's a possibility because you still got to kick it off and play the game next Friday night and let the clock run out and go double zeros at the end of the fourth quarter. So we'll see. But 5-5 is a great year for the Dragons this year compared to what they've been the last couple years. I would say Coach Keith, he's probably not happy, but he has to be pleased in the direction of his football team. Because, man, he's got a ton of sophomores out there. A ton.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, he's happy. But I'm telling you, if I'm Lockhart, there's no extra game for my basketball players, man. They're going to be on the basketball floor. Like I said, Clinton is, you know, you're right. What you said, Clinton might have one of the best teams they've had in a few years.
Well, North City's won 2 games, one against Stone Memorial and the other one against Hickson. So both, you know, a lot smaller schools.
But you don't know. Well, I started to say Stone Memorial. See, it is a smaller school. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
is it? But you look at Stone Memorial takes out Kingston tonight.
Kingston lost?
Stone Memorial lost. Hey, Loudon lost tonight, buddy.
Are you? They're both looking ahead.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I've been saying. Were they both looking to next Friday night?
No way, Stone Memorial beat against Hickson. Yeah, that was the second win, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they beat Heritage. So that's their 3rd win.
Yeah. So yeah, Loudon got beat tonight by McMinn Central, I believe.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you right.
Stone Memorial beat Kingston.
And Stone Memorial beat Kingston. Yeah.
Wow.
I think everybody's looking ahead to next Friday night. What's going to happen?
It's still for the region championship, correct?
Oh, yeah, I would assume so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think nothing changed there, but, you know, still be a good football game. It'll still be packed down there because that's a big rivalry game anyway. That hadn't been, you know, that's a game that's a big game. So there'll be a huge crowd there next Friday night for that game. But anyway.
We'll take a quick commercial break.
Yeah, let's jump out and take our second commercial break of the night. We'll be right back here at the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard in just a few minutes. Give us a call.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus.
I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Beautiful yards make a statement, and beautiful yards come from Simplicity Mowers. Their exclusive free-floating mower decks with full-width rollers track the contours of your yard for a perfect cut. So visit your neighborhood Simplicity dealer today and start the conversation about your lawn. Simplicity, the way to a beautiful lawn.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And welcome back to the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. Let's go right to the phones. Quick caller, you on the air.
Yeah, this is Jody Wright from Fulton. Jonathan wanted me to call.
Yeah, go ahead, Jobo.
Hey, so we were asked on the phone about 11th game, and go ahead and explain that to everybody.
So they started a couple years ago. If you remember, Grace has hosted those like character games, bowl games. They would call them bowl games, but they were not really bowl games. So they allowed you to play an 11th game for those teams that didn't qualify for the postseason. Now, last year that was a little bit different because of even more allowing teams because of losing games due to COVID and everything else. But they've allowed you to play an 11th game, I guess, last 7-8 years maybe.
So, Coach, I'm reading this. It says schools that do not qualify for the playoffs may schedule an additional game, bringing the total number of games to 11. No member schools shall schedule a game that conflicts with the playoff games. So does that mean they got to be played on Saturday?
They normally play them on Thursday or Saturday. Correct.
Okay. So you're allowed an 11th game if you're not in the playoffs, but it cannot be played on Friday night.
Yes, cannot conflict with the playoff game. So, again, most of those play them on, to be honest with you, it just depends. A lot of them play them on Thursday night. Depends on, what UT is doing. It's hard to compete against the Vols on a Saturday, especially if they're good. So that's why a lot of teams do play on some on Thursday night. But some of them do play. I think, again, Grace has hosted, like 4 teams play doubleheader at Grace a couple years ago.
And we're going to go to Jesse here. Just say one question here for you real quick. If you were a basketball player and your football team schedules an 11th game that's a bowl game, and you're ready to go play basketball, that puts that kid in a tough predicament.
It really does. But my advice as a coach would be, again, finish your season. I don't think that you, irregardless that it's what we would quote a meaningless game because it is not a playoff game. I still think that you made a commitment to your football team to play the season. And so my advice, if we had a situation of a young man at my school in that situation, I would say finish football season, start basketball season when football's over. I think that sends a
hold your breath.
I think it just sends a bad message. It really does.
Yeah.
So I would not be for that. Even as a basketball coach, getting those guys out early, I think that sends a bad message for the overall culture of your athletic program.
Basketball's a long season.
It is. Yeah. Tournament sports.
All right, Coach.
All right, boys. Y'all be good.
Absolutely, man. Go ahead, caller, you on the air.
Hey, guys, this is Jesse Smithy. How are you tonight?
Doing great. You told us last week, week 9, the fun would begin. Here we go.
Yeah, it's been another wild night, and it's only going to get crazier next week. And big games next week, like Farragut and Bearden for a playoff spot, Kingston and Loudon for a region championship, Central and West for a region championship, and it's going to be teams fighting for playoff spots and fighting to hold on to some, and it's going to be crazy. Tonight was crazy. Some unexpected results, namely South Doyle and Carter being one of those. That was a region championship, and guys, I haven't been able to really dig into the playoff scenarios after tonight's game yet. I'm still driving home, but South Doyle is in a world of hurt. They are 1-4 in their last 5 games, and their playoff stock is slipping in a major way.
If I've read, and I did read over this, I didn't read over it. Somebody's reading it to me on the way to the show. If Fulton beats Carter next week, South Doyle will be traveling to Greenville round 1.
Goodness. I mean, this is a South Doyle team that was, 3 or 4-0 to start the year, running the football extremely well with Sean Gary, and they ran the ball well with him tonight. He had over 230 yards rushing. He had 94 yards receiving, and they still found a way to lose that football game. That's typically not going to see South Doyle lose. But they went down and scored late in the game, and Carter's Preshawn Brown had a big football kickoff return down to about the 2-yard line, and then he punched it in. They got a 2-point conversion, and that put them up 7. And I know South Doyle went down, kicked the field goal later, but just could not get any closer. And Carter won that football game 42-38, and you got to give credit to Carter. They were extremely well and lost a lot of confidence, and they seem to have gained it back tonight. And it's just I tweeted this probably back in week 2 or week 3 that I could not wait for the 4A playoffs just because of how crazy and how deep it's going to be in the regular season, and it looks like it's going to be that way in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think if you look at it going into tonight, everybody would have thought South Doyle would be the 2 seed, Fulton the 3, Carter the 4. And now you come out of it, and you got a game next week at Fulton for the 2-3 seed. And if Fulton wins, they're the 2. If Carter goes to 3, South Doyle goes to 4. If Fulton loses, Carter goes to the 2, South Doyle goes to the 3, Fulton goes to the 4.
Either way, you don't want to be the 3 or 4. I think we all know that. You don't want to go to face number 1 Greenville if you're the 4 seed out of region.
See, Jesse, I thought 3 was the spot to be, because I think Elizabethan is, I think they're good, but I think it's a winnable game. It's a crazy environment. But, with Anderson County struggling at the quarterback position, that round 2 matchup, I think, at the end of the day, you're delaying the inevitable.
Right. I mean, Elizabethan, though, is starting to come alive. And I know we talked about going up there to try to beat them as a little bit more winnable game than Greenville. And obviously that's true. But what I've started to see out of Elizabethan the last couple of weeks is what they've struggled with all year is throwing the football, and they're starting to do that a lot better now. So I don't know what the turnaround has been, and I don't know if it's going to be apparent like that or present in the playoffs. But you don't want to go on the road to face the 2-time defending state champion who probably feels like they're getting overlooked because Greenville's getting all the attention. So I wouldn't want to face Elizabethan or Greenville. So that fight for the 2 seed next week out of that Region 2 4A is going to be something.
Yeah, it will be. Hey, I'm pretty sure I'm 100% right here, and I think you just said it. The loser of Bearden Farragut goes home next week.
Correct. Last week we kind of thought that when Bearden got that win over Cleveland that they were going to be able to sneak into the playoffs, and even some of their coaches said it to the players. They said, look, we think this gets us in, but we're not entirely sure. Let's not take it for granted. But once we started to dig through the scenarios and the region standings and look at everybody's win-loss record, it was pretty apparent that this game coming up next week against Farragut High School is going to be for a playoff seed. And the winner's going to get in, the loser's going to go home. And Bearden and Farragut, always a heated rivalry in Knox County anyway. But that place is going to be absolutely bonkers next week. I can't remember if it's at Farragut or Bearden, but either way, the stands are going to be packed. They know what's going to be on the line. It's going to be high drama, and that Bearden defense has been so special all year long is going to have to keep Farragut bottled up somehow. Just keep it within 15 to 20 points and hope that their offense can scratch together 21.
I think Bearden has the better defense. I think Farragut has the better offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw the Farragut offense tonight against Fulton putting up what they normally do. Bearden's gotten better, a little bit better offensively the last couple of weeks, but they still have a freshman quarterback, and he's learning on the fly this year, and he's having some great plays, but also having some mistakes as well. So if he does make mistakes next week, obviously Farragut has to capitalize on those. But Bearden, just week in and week out, outside of the Maryville game, they've just been fantastic on defense. And you look at them defensively, it's not like they scare you getting off the bus. There aren't a bunch of 6'3", 260-pound defensive linemen. It's quite the opposite. There are a bunch of 5'11", 240 guys up front and some just nice high school undersized linebackers, but they just get after it and they don't stop, and they're really, really well coached.
Is maybe a little bit of a Cinderella this year's story sort of developing on Jefferson County?
It is. They did have some bad news this week. You look back to last week, and they got blanked against Science Hill, and you're going, what happened? This was supposed to be a really good Jefferson County team. Well, come to find out, their starting quarterback basically tore apart his ankle in the first quarter of that game against Science Hill, and so the offense was a little bit lost in that game, and rightfully so. Nobody ever expects that to happen, and then what do you do to try to stay competitive? And so with extra time and having a week to put together a game plan, not having Isaiah Hall, the strong-arm sophomore at quarterback, and Spencer Riley and that staff did a really good job preparing for Morristown West, putting up 55 points in that win, and getting some confidence back to know that, okay, this great season we have is not going to fall apart just because we don't have our quarterback.
And that game will be at Farragut.
The Bearden Farragut?
Yeah, the Bearden Farragut game, yeah. So, yeah, it was it's good to see Jefferson County. How many years did they go without winning a football game? 2 or 3?
I know they were 0-10 last year. I think they might have won a game in 2019, 1 or 2 games, but it wasn't many. But still, that, as you mentioned, it kind of Cinderella. I didn't want to see their season fall flat. You know, they did such a remarkable job of turning around an 0-10 season, getting to a 5-3 start, and you didn't want to see it just end up 5-5 regular season and then first round playoff loss. So I was happy to see them get that win tonight and get some confidence back, and we'll see what they can do. 6A playoffs, as we know, are going to be brutal. So they need to have as much confidence as they can going into that bracket.
I wonder if Seymour losing eliminates them from the playoffs. I thought they might be the 4 seed, but they got beat by South Green.
No. South Green is a 2A school. Seymour is they're in the playoffs, and we wrote about that one, I believe, last week when they got a win last week in week 9 that got them into the playoffs for the first time in quite some time.
I need to subscribe.
I think they're. Yeah, you should. Yeah. Did you ever get that login?
I did. You didn't email. You didn't text it to me.
Yeah. Tough break for you.
Dream tour.
Yeah, dream tour. Yeah.
Hey, talk a little bit about, and we won't keep you too long, but talk about that Knox Catholic PAL game last night. I watched the Smart Bank.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a game that was a long time in the making, and I've mentioned this a couple times throughout the week that guys like Tommy Winton, the star receiver for Catholic, and when Caden Martin was here, they would float tweets out to Matt Lowe, the Powell coach, on social media, just in fun, not hateful at all, just saying, hey, let's get together and let's play a football game, because so many guys at Powell and so many guys at Fulton all grew up playing together. They all know each other, and they wanted to settle the bragging rights. I'm sure all those guys talk smack to each other on social media and text message saying who could beat who, and that's what teenagers do. And so they were able to finally get it on the field last night, and the rain, even though it came at various times during the contest, didn't really take away from the feel of the game. It was still a lot of intensity, a lot of big plays. The stars came to play. Walter Nolan had big moments. Tommy Winton had 3 touchdown catches. Keandre Jarman, the running back for Catholic, he played with a hairline fracture in his foot and still ran the ball effectively. There were blocked punts, there were blocked kicks, interceptions, and it was just everything that you hope for that game happened. It was a 30-29 affair. Of course, Tommy Winton caught that remarkable touchdown catch. Went up, got it, had to snag it between his legs and hold on as he came down to the turf to win that game. And so it didn't have any bearing on playoffs. Catholic's Division II, Powell's in 5A, and I think both teams can go out of that game feeling like they competed well. But the bad thing for Powell is they had a really big injury to one of their top receivers, Jaden Collins, their slot guy, who last year he was their leading receiver in terms of productivity, and this year has over 500 yards receiving in a wide receiver core with 3 other guys that are getting Division I looks. So losing your slot receiver and that kind of offense could be just a detriment. We'll see how Powell handles that. They never talk publicly or really off the record about their injuries to the media. So I don't know if he'll be back next week. I don't know if he'll be back in 3 weeks. It'll just be something that we have to monitor with Powell. But if he is not back, that's a big, big loss for them.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I thought the better team won. I thought it just seemed like Catholic was a little better. I don't know if you agree or disagree. The play that you tweeted out today with the smart bank play, I noticed you got a lot of comments tonight. 99 just quit on the play.
He did, and you know, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I know they played him a lot on offense and defense, but when the game is on the line, you can't take the play off. And so I actually reached out to some Catholic people, and I showed them that video, and I was like, what happened? I know when the ball was snapped, it was a low snap, and so there was a fumble, and I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I actually talked to somebody that played on the Catholic offensive line, and he said that they could hear the Powell linebacker saying, no play, no play. And so I don't know if Walter Nolan heard that and stood up, but still, when you stand up and you see the quarterback rolling around out there, that's your sign that the play is live, and you got to get going. And it just wasn't a good look for Walter Nolan on that play. Still, I heard Catholic players tell me that he dominated when he was in there and trying hard. So, but that one play, the game-deciding play, you know, Walter Nolan just didn't get a push and didn't really even try to get a push. He just kind of.
Did we lose him?
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what was going on in his. Catholic got the touchdown and got the win.
Jesse, next week, Kingston in Loudon is the game of the week here, the OEB game of the week. That's for the region championship, is that correct?
It is for the region championship, and the game loses a little luster because both teams lost today. And I hate seeing that. But Kingston lost to Stone Memorial team that I think they might be in a bigger class. It was a 34-33 game, and Kingston had to throw the football a lot tonight, and that's not their comfort zone. I don't think they had a back go for over 30 or 40 yards for Kingston. We're used to seeing them put up 300, 400 rushing yards per game. They weren't able to do that tonight. They had to go to the airways and try to churn out a win somehow, and weren't able to do it. But they were competitive, 34-33. So you kind of take that for what it is. But it was just an atypical Kingston performance. And for Loudon, they got beat by a McMinn County team that's really got a lot of momentum right now in Class 5A. So you don't want to lose a game like that on either side, either Kingston or Loudon, going into a region championship. So we'll see which team handles it better and responds better.
All right, Jesse, we'll let you go, man. We appreciate you. Where were you tonight? Were you at Halls and Central?
Yeah, we were at Halls and Central, and Central got their 6th win in a row. They play West High School for a region championship next week. And I'm going to tell you guys, this sophomore running back, number 23, that Central has, he's going to be something to deal with over these next couple of years. He's just a tank of a running back. He ran for 194 yards tonight and 4 touchdowns. His name's Frank Johnson IV, and he's just only gotten better as the season's worn on. So he's going to be one of those guys over the next couple of years that you're just like, God, man, when are you going to finally graduate? Seems like you've been here forever. And he's going to cause a lot of torture for some defenses over the next couple of years. So keep an eye out for him.
Are they good enough to make it to the semifinals?
Oh boy, I think you would have to see what their bracket looks like before I would go. Say that.
They go east, right?
Yeah, they go east, so that definitely plays in their favor. There's no big undefeated David Crockett or anything like that this year.
So they'll have to play West in the quarterfinals, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Again, I don't have those brackets memorized or anything, so I'd hate to say, but I mean, they've won 6 in a row and kind of quietly doing their thing. They're not a lot of flash on offense, but they get it done, and that defense, even though they lost Caleb Fortner and Liam Fortner, has been just as good as they were a year ago. So
Central just a team I won't play right now.
No, that defense is pretty special. They got some guys that have really found their stride this year in terms of breakout athletes. Isaiah Magaha, number 44. Last year he was 6'2", 215. Now he's 6'4", 245, and leads the area in sacks. So they've just kind of blossomed out there and really kind of found their confidence in their identity defensively, and they still don't throw the ball all that well, but just kind of serviceable, manageable throwing the football. And now this kid who's developed as a running back for Central has really got them on a different playing field. So it's definitely a team, like you said, that you don't want to face.
That's correct. All right, Jess, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you.
Getting better early, bud.
Yep.
See you,
Yep,
man.
we'll talk to you next week.
All right, see you, Jess. Good caller. You on the air?
Yes, Quinn. I had a question from last week. We were talking about the different enrollments in school and how they enroll their students, and Cox was saying that Oak Ridge was an open enrollment, and I was wanting to know what exactly does that mean?
I take it. I mean, you've got open enrollment in Clinton City, right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
If there's more Clinton City School kids there, then you possibly couldn't get in. I think what you're saying is you can come. If you come from out of the city of Oak Ridge, you have to pay a tuition, right?
That's right.
So that's the open enrollment. You can come from, say, Knoxville, but you would have to either move here or you'd have to pay the tuition.
So I'll try to give you the best
example. Does that mean they could? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So does that mean if they could convince a player to come there that he would not have to live in Oak Ridge if they paid the tuition?
Correct.
Paid the tuition. Okay. And that's not like, I mean, that's pretty unique with any other school, right?
Yeah, so like in a Knox County school, you have to live in the zone, or you got to be in Knox County to come to their school. You got to have an address in that area to go to that school. I'll use Anderson County for an example. You've got 2 high schools in Anderson County that in Clinton that fall under the Anderson County School District. You have Anderson County and Clinton. You can get a transfer to one of those schools, but you also could be denied. And for example, Maryville, you can drive from Halls, which has happened. You can drive from Farragut, which has happened. You can come from anywhere in Blount County, and if you pay if you get accepted, then you pay the tuition of the out-of-city tuition, and you are allowed to come to school there.
And you can live anywhere you want to.
And you can live anywhere, wherever you want.
But does that make you eligible, though, to play football?
TSPLA eligibility rules don't change.
That's what I'm...
Yeah.
Oh.
So if I lived in Farragut, let's say I live in Powell right now. My son plays at Powell High School. If I went to Maryville, I would have to move to Maryville for him to be eligible.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So the eligibility rule doesn't change, but the open enrollment, gives you such an advantage. Knox County, they've got to watch their numbers at schools, and it's hard to get an influx of kids, into certain schools. You got to be in good academic standing. The school's got to have openings, and a lot of schools right now are overcrowded in certain areas, and you couldn't get in that school. So there's definitely an advantage to being an open enrollment.
Okay. But you're saying, though, the CSSAA rules would not allow someone to live in Knoxville and go to school and play football in Oak Ridge.
It's all about an athletic record. So if player A lives in Powell and transfers to Maryville and doesn't have a change in address and had an athletic record, they would not be eligible. But if they physically moved to Maryville from Powell, they could go and start playing. So you would have to have a change of address. And there's some little different clauses that go in there.
When's an athletic record start for a kid?
Freshman year.
So 7th and 8th grade really doesn't matter.
No.
If you're
not unless they play. And if they went to a private school in 8th grade and played a sport,
they've started then. So a kid in Knox County that is just an 8th grader and is going to be a freshman, if he's not played as a 9th grader anywhere, he can come to Oak Ridge and probably be eligible to play.
He would be eligible to play because he doesn't have an athletic record.
He doesn't have an athletic record.
Yeah.
It's funny how it gets manipulated a little bit. It's weird.
But your open enrollment schools also typically pay a little more for teachers. Your city schools like Oak Ridge and Maryville, Alcoa.
Oak Ridge High School is a really good school. I mean, academic-wise, it's a good school.
Yeah.
And in Knox County, all the coaches have the same, the same salary or whatever it is to coach, or does each school can they pay a head coach more than another school in Knox County?
So Knox County, they have a salary or stipend, however you want to look at it, that is across the board based on how many years you've coached. And once you top out, you've topped out. So a guy that's coached 20 years, who has his master's, and a guy that's coached 31 years, they're going to make the same amount of money. Now, booster clubs can pay coaches, can pay head coaches, assistant coaches, as long as it's been approved by the school board and as long as it's been ran through the school.
Okay. All right.
That's what.
And one other. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's what's. If you look at a couple coaches that's come back to Knox County, they've come back because someone in the community's opened up the pocketbook to a booster club, and the booster club's got it approved, and they're able to pay those coaches more money because they were losing a lot of coaches to private schools.
True. Okay. One other thing is I saw on the school board, Oakland and South Pittsburgh. Is that Murfreesboro, Oakland, playing
Yes.
South Pittsburgh?
Yes, they played each other.
Have they played before? Do they play each other? Because that's like 6A against 1A, right?
That's right, and they played each other. And I think it was, 30-14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
South Pittsburgh usually has a really good football team.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're probably top 5 in the state right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they probably are. I've not seen their record this year or where they're at in the standings. They're really good. I can tell you that much.
And their coach left in the middle of the year.
Yeah, and their coach left in the middle of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is that just something that they picked up, or is that how, or have they played several times like that?
I don't know that they've ever played. It did catch me off guard tonight, caller, when I noticed that score. It was 14-0 when I noticed the score. I don't know if they picked each other up because they both had the same open week, or if it's scheduled on a 2-year contract. Most games are 2-year contracts, but I don't know. I can't speak on that.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I enjoy your show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching.
All right, thanks for watching. And go back to talk about some other teams about being here at the playoffs. We talked about South Dole being in trouble. I'm a little worried about Campbell County, too. I think they've dropped 3 in a row, maybe.
Well, they lost to Carnes.
They lose tonight.
And they lost tonight. But now...
they were off last week, so the win against Clinton. So they had a week off between Clinton and
they played Carnes and lost.
And then played Clinton and won.
They played Clinton and won.
Then they were off.
Then they were off.
Lost again.
And they lost tonight. But now their running backs hurt.
And I knew that. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
He played a little bit tonight, but it was limited snaps.
Maybe they're getting him.
They got to have him next week.
Yeah, they've got to have him.
That changed the seeding. This week was against Sevier County.
Doesn't matter. It's just a win or a loss.
Yeah, that's right. You want to win, but next week they've got to have him.
Next week's the difference between 3 and 4.
Yeah, they got to have him.
Yeah, it's a little tougher game at 4. Well, they're all tough. When you go to the playoffs, all the games are tough.
Jesse made a good point about Elizabethan getting better.
Yep.
Elizabethan went to Ray County and beat them by 3 touchdowns.
I'm telling you, I just don't think you want to go up there and play either one of those teams right now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to make that bus ride, or I wouldn't want them to be on a bus coming to my place. I don't think we've got anybody down here that's going to stand. Didn't Harris County play Elizabethan already this year? Didn't they go up there and play Elizabethan?
Yes.
And they got beat?
Yes, but now they lost their quarterback on Monday.
I understand.
And played that game on
They
Friday.
still went up there and played, and they got beat. So, for somebody to beat Greenville, they're starting 22 is going to have to be out, I think. I don't think you can take one player off their roster and it's going to affect them a lot. No, it's just I don't know, maybe their quarterback or a running back or something like that, some big key playmaker that's going to really cripple them one way or the other. I mean, if you're hearing all these coaches talk about Greenville, how good they are, they can win 4A and they can win 5A, somebody's got to be full of bull here or that's really the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take for some of the coaches I've heard, that's really the truth. So there's a lot of people's season's going to be over fairly quickly when they play.
I got this. We just got this. South Dole took the lead, and on the kickoff, they stripped the ball. The side judge comes in, throws the beanbag, gives the ball to South Dole. The head umpire, who was 30 to 40 yards away, runs over, has a meeting with the side judge, and gives the ball back to Carter. South Dual sidelines and fans erupted. It was a wild scene. Did you see the Halls fumble?
No.
Against Powell this year?
No, I did not.
Ball game's tied. Halls is driving. The young man from Halls is on his bottom, and the guy strips the ball, and it pops up, and they get it, and they give the ball to Powell.
Wow. Quick caller, you on the air.
Hey, good evening to you, David.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, I want to congratulate the Clinton Dragons.
Big win.
Yeah, it was there. I'll pile on Jeff Foxworthy. The game was tighter than Dolly Parton's bra strap.
Okay.
But anyway, there. Now, if I understand this right, guys, there is the Oak Ridge team that's 2-8. Are they going to make the playoffs?
No, they're 2-7, and yes, they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, because 2 of their wins are against
Clinton and
Lenore City, so that gets them into the playoffs.
That just really shocks me that they would even want to go to the playoffs on a record like that. But you know, I heard David say this on the radio the other day. Of course, there that when you go into the playoffs, the record, everybody's record is 0-0.
That's true.
But you know,
anything can happen in the playoffs.
I got you there, but you know that just really shocked me there. You know, when you got a Clinton team that's above 500 right now, but you know it's how you win and lose in your, I don't know if it's called a district or a region now, but
region.
In a region there, I guess that's just how the chips fall there. But nonetheless, there it's tough there. I think they'll have a hard time, especially if the running back from Carnes there, from Carnes next week there, if he's healthy and plays there. I believe if I heard on the television there one day this past week there that kid there is leading the nation in rushing this year.
That's correct.
Wow, that's
he's close
incredible.
to breaking the rushing record too. I don't know exactly what it is. He's going to need a couple playoffs games, I think, to get it. And he'll still break that record in 3 less games. Is that not right? Setting with 15 games or 14 games?
He's going to be close.
He's going to be close. So
Jalen Hurd ran it in 14. He missed a game that year.
Yeah, he's going to have to put some miles on his feet here in the next week or two. So
if he plays 3 more games and hits his average, he will eclipse the record.
Yeah.
Wow, is that kid is he a senior or is he a junior this year?
He's a junior.
Just got another offer from Virginia Tech last week.
Oh, okay. Then I wonder if the Vols are looking at him at all.
Already offered him.
Yep.
Already offered. Okay, good deal. I've got. I don't know if you guys have switched over to college football yet, there, but you know that the game there with Tennessee and Ole Miss. I mean, that's a game there. It's a good game there, but and you know I don't condone there what the fans did with throwing all the stuff on the field and everything there. You know that placement call on that 4th down there could have went either way there. I thought it was closer than what they decided it was there. You know, if he'd had it in his other arm there, probably wouldn't have been no question there. And you know that. A bad look on Tennessee. I forget what they got fined there, $250,000 or whatever. But you know that look there. But you know the thing that really got me more than anything there is you know the Bailey kid. He came onto the field to check on Hooker. They had Joe Milton on the sideline warming up there, but you know I wonder what he was warming up to do. Because it made no sense to me with 3 seconds to go, he runs out of bounds instead of throwing the ball in the end zone. I mean, what's he doing?
That's what we say.
I think there's millions of people that ask that question, not just hundreds of thousands. The millions of people that were watching that football game.
I think he can answer it about ever how many words this is here. He doesn't like contacts, why he didn't try to score if he's going to run it in. He lowered his shoulder and skipped out of bounds real easy like. And he looked sort of ridiculous doing it.
It just tells me if I was a coach, there's no way I could play the kid.
I wouldn't play him again.
You can't trust a kid that does something like that.
I wouldn't. He'd be no-go for me. I'd play a walk-on or anybody before I play him.
He's a junior. Hooker's a junior.
Well, he needs to go ahead and transfer.
I mean, that's right. It's time. You give the ball to Bailey tomorrow, or however much longer it is, and then when Hooker's be your quarterback next year.
Yep.
It's pretty simple, but I don't know. Heupel likes him.
Let me ask you this: who starts tomorrow's game for the Vols against Alabama?
Oh, Joe Milton's going to start, but I just think it's a terrible decision.
I'm not watching it. If Milton starts tomorrow, I'm not watching the game. I'll find out what the score is on ESPN at 12 o'clock or whatever time it come on.
I'll say this to both of you, Mike, and we got people waiting on the line. If Joe Milton is the quarterback tomorrow, he'll get embarrassed. But here's what I'll tell you. Josh Heupel was outmanned and had a bunch of wounded ducks, and that coaching staff, along with the players playing the game, kept them in that Ole Miss game. That coaching staff, Pruitt would have lost that game by 14 to 21 points.
Oh, if not more.
Heupel's doing a good job. I mean, he's got starters sitting over there with walking boots and slings and everything else. I thought he did a good job to even be in the ball game at that point in time after a botched fumble, muff punt that gave him 7, and then getting a touchdown taken away on a trick play where the kid's hiding the ball and he gets it stripped. So I think the coaching staff's doing a great job, but I just don't think Joe Milton's the guy.
I hear you. Okay, I appreciate you. How much longer you guys going to be on this year?
We'll be on next week, and then usually a couple weeks, and it depends on where everybody's at. According to who's playing. If we go 2 weeks, it depends on where everybody goes. If they're all gone a long ways from here, there's no use us being here because there's nobody to call in and talk to us about it.
If our boss tells us to be here, we'll be here.
We'll be here. We'll see where everybody's at. We'll know a little bit after next week when it's all, or after week 1 in the playoffs, we'll know a little bit. We can sort of look ahead just a little bit and see what we think. But right now, we're scheduled next Friday and the next Friday, and then we'll see about the next. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
That's the way we've always done it. Ever since I've been doing it, that's how we've done it. Because if somebody locally's playing and they're close by, we'll try to be here. We might not be here for an hour, but we'll be here.
I appreciate you guys. I know you're getting paid well to do this, and I enjoy listening to you guys. So
it's so much I can't even buy a razor to shave.
I've noticed that, David. You guys have a good evening.
All right,
be careful.
see you, bye.
All right, goodbye
see you,
now.
bye. Great call, you're on the air.
Yeah, I need to know what the score was. I need to know what the score was for the Oak Ridge game.
14-10, DB.
Oak Ridge won?
No, Oak Ridge got beat.
Oak Ridge got beat.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Quick call, you on the air.
Hey, David and Jonathan, the football knowledge guys. What did you think about those players last Saturday, Ole Miss, falling down like that? Were they really hurt, or were they faking it?
Well, I don't know how you know if somebody's hurt or they're not hurt. And I think you have to err on the side of caution, man. You can't just. Maybe they ought to do like you do on soccer, run out there to a stretcher, put them on a stretcher, and then run them off, and then not let them come back in for a while. So I don't know. They're going to have to address that rule, but man, isn't that a fine line? What if you go out there and the kid's he's really hurt, and now you're going to. I don't know. It's funny though. You get hurt. You go to the sidelines and you come back in the next play. Immediately, you're right back in.
You sit out one play.
I think you got to sit out a player, maybe even sit out 2 or sit out.
Well, the rule is you have to sit out 1.
Well,
so that's the rule.
Does the 1 count when you go off the field, or is it when you're off the field plus 1? Is it the next play?
So if I go down and you take me off the field.
That's a one play.
There's a play being ran as soon as I go off the field. After that, I can come back on.
See? I don't know how, it's a fine line. You know, you look at some of them, the way they were holding them for cramps. Could it very well have been cramps? Maybe. Could it very well not been? Maybe. But Tennessee had a few players do close to the same thing, I thought anyway. Ole Miss did it more, but Tennessee had a few that done the same thing.
Yeah, but I want somebody, and maybe you know, Mr. Bain, and I know we've got a bunch of people watching this show right now, but I heard, where I sat in section U, I cannot see this. I heard Josh Heupel or one of his assistants looked at the offensive lineman that was running off the field that lost his helmet and told him to get down.
He did. I can tell you, I seen it on TV.
Did you?
See it on TV.
Okay.
Yes, that's the truth.
You know, I don't know where that comes in. I don't know where that comes in the game of football.
Well, think of this. A timeout can be 30 seconds. If you want to stretch an injury out for 2 or 3 minutes to give your team a 2 or 3 minute break,
I get that.
Because the official is not going to move you off the field until the trainer or the doctor is taking you off the field. I understand what you're saying. That's why, well, Sankey said it, I don't know what day this week he said it, we're always going to err on the side of safety. So that's why I don't think that there might be a rule that says you got to set out a couple plays or you got to set out that series. You can't go back in after that series is either over or you get a first down, then you can go back in. So who's going to keep up with that? How are they going to keep up with all that? I mean, that's just another, I don't know.
I just find it, just as, I mean, there's no, like, these guys get paid so much money to win. The win at all cost has been implemented in college football.
Think about this, 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe just a little bit longer, who was the number one guy complaining about this up-tempo offense? And it was no other than Nick Saban. So there's no doubt in my mind that they don't teach it. If they're teaching it at Ole Miss, they're for sure teaching it at LSU. Go down. That's what better way to stop momentum is to take you out for a couple minutes.
So Saban didn't teach his kids to go down. He's just started running the offense where he doesn't huddle and don't give you a chance.
That's exactly right. There you go.
So, you know, that's what he's done. I cannot believe that a grown man who is a coach would look at a kid and tell him to go down.
The commentators even commentated about Tennessee. They said the coach told him to go down, and he went down.
I mean, surely you got your backup standing right there. When that guy's helmet goes off, the next one's going in.
You wouldn't think, but...
And we're trying to go fast, but yet we slow it down.
So what happened there is the kid goes down. That gives Tennessee time to get... It gives Tennessee time to get ready, to get somebody in. Now, look on Hooker's deal. I don't know what Hooker's injury is. Have no idea. That was a long injury timeout. Long enough to get Milton ready.
Yeah.
That's a long injury timeout. But the officials never once went over and said, you're on the clock. Let's go. We got to get him off. Never. Yeah. You're erring on the side of safety.
Well, and I've heard some people, Mr. Bain, I never listen to any kind of call-in shows or anything like that. But Sunday morning I was driving to Virginia, and I heard the call-in show with, what's the judge in Knoxville that does that call-in show?
Tim Irwin.
Tim Irwin, and who does the show with them?
I can't remember who it is.
Jimmy Himes, maybe?
Might be Jimmy Himes.
Yeah. And, you know, they were saying, and some people were calling in, that if you come out of play, one play, you get hurt like that, you should have to come out and set out an entire series or at least 5 plays.
Well, at least set out till you get a first down.
You see what I'm saying?
That could be 3, 4 plays.
They were going on. But here's what I think you can't do. I think college football, and I'll say this for high school football, they've got to figure out ways to shorten the football game. A college football game lasts 4 to 5 hours. A pro football game lasts almost 3 hours on the dot.
Well, it's difference in the way the clock runs in college and the way it runs in the NFL, and you've talked about that numerous times this year. That's one way. that you could do it on placing the ball and winding the clock and us go on. I think, there's a lot of times in the NFL when you go out of bounds, the clock, it just keeps running. It doesn't. You're right. You're gonna have to find a way to do it, but I don't know what it is. That answer your question, caller?
Yeah, I agree with y'all. Real quickly, I'll say Alabama 400-7.
All right, 400-7. We got it. We'll see you next Friday night.
All right.
See you, bud.
See you next time.
Let's take another break here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard, and we'll be right back. We'll either take your call or we'll go home. We'll be right back here in just a minute.
Many of our neighbors are living in fear of becoming sick or injured because they do not have health insurance or can't afford to go to the doctor. The Free Medical Clinic is solving that problem by providing free, no-charge primary care clinics in Oak Ridge, Harriman, and Briceville for residents in Anderson, Morgan, and Roane counties. But we don't accomplish this alone. There's no way we can create a better future for our community members by ourselves. It takes all of us. We thank each of our valuable partners in helping the Free Medical Clinic end the fear of those who can't afford medical care. On behalf of our thousands of patients, thank you.
You call your agent with a simple question, only to get sent to voicemail again. We pick up the phone. Did you get this? Hello, this is Sam. How can I help you? Like I said, we pick up the phone because it's ringing. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Hello, this is Sam.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
And welcome back to the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. And folks, we appreciate those people sponsoring us here on the Friday Night Scoreboard. Go to their website, fmcor.org, and check them out. And we appreciate them sponsoring us. They allow me and Cox to sit here and have
I know we're
fun.
talking about high school a little bit. Let me ask you a question.
Ask.
Did I hear you say last week that Oak Ridge had never lost more than 6 games in a season?
That's what I was told. I don't know how true that is. That's what I've been told. They'd never lost 7 games in a year. So we'll see.
So this-
they're setting records left and right down here this year in Oak Ridge. If the 7th loss and then lose to a team that lost to in 35 years. So we're breaking the bank.
So they're 2-7 right now.
2-7.
Going to Campbell County.
Yep. And I think Campbell County's down here. I think that game's down here. I think Oak Ridge and Campbell County. I think it's here in Blankenship. I think.
Okay.
Let's get this call here. Might be the last one of the night. Quick caller, you're on the air.
The Clinton football. I don't think we've talked about them enough tonight.
Excuse me, who are you talking about?
Clinton. We've talked about them all night long, man.
I think they deserve about 35 more minutes.
I heard that. We're talking. Maybe the Dogs will just click when you get done.
Are you wanting them to play an 11th game?
I hope to God they're not.
You think they should just go home 5-5 and ride off in the sunset this year? Good season?
Right off into the basketball gym.
Yeah, they got a chance to be special this year in basketball. So
state tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to take that in consideration. I mean, I agree with Coach Wright. If you're gonna have one, though, everybody probably needs to play. But I wouldn't be too happy if But I understand his theory behind it, and I agree with his theory. You got to finish the football season, but Clinton's 5-4 right now with the possibility of a game next week they could win. Who knows till they play it? But I would much rather go out on a high note and the last thing that happened to him, we walk off the field, whether it's Thursday or Saturday morning, you've got a loss. So, I don't know. It's just me.
You need to come to Clinton tomorrow.
Big shout out to Rockwood and Midway. Not 2 big wins tonight in Rome County.
Hey, I know who this is now. Who's the guy that hired you as the... I'll text you. I want to know something. He sat in front of me last Saturday night, and man, I could not stop laughing at this guy. I finally said, "Is Ron Berry your brother?" He turned around and looked at me. "What do you mean?" I said, "What I asked. Is Ron?" He said, "No, but he is my best friend." And I said, "Oh man, you desperate for friends."
You have to take them. That could have been Brillo. I don't know.
Brillo Miller?
He's supposed to be the mayor of Rockwood.
That's Brillo.
Okay, well,
Good guy.
Brillo sat right in front of me, and the lady that sat in front of him, she's got skull stains on her white shirt.
Yeah, that's him.
That's definitely him.
That's Brillo, man. That's Brillo.
Well, Brillo, I met Brillo.
You met a good guy. That's all I got to say.
And he cracked me up. He couldn't believe it was, couldn't believe Ole Miss was getting away with all that holding.
Oh, I bet he was fired up.
Oh, I tell you, my wife and I, unfortunately, we don't get to go to many games anymore because I got to take turns taking the kids, or she takes the kids. But it was entertaining. The 5 hours went by a lot quicker. I can't confirm or deny that he didn't throw anything on the field, but no, we had a good time. I got to meet him, and he sat right in front of me, and
he's a good guy. He really is.
Yeah, he loves UT.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he loves Rockwood.
And he does love Rockwood.
Yeah.
He sits right in front of the press box. I can tell you right where he sits.
Yeah, I didn't want to get him going. I didn't want to tell him anything about 5-star preps or doing the show here.
Oh, he probably knows you do that. He probably knows.
Well, I don't think he recognized me.
He might not have.
I tried to have my hat on and all that stuff.
No, he's a good guy.
And he finally, I think, put 2 and 2 together on who my dad was when the guy behind me stands up. He's dancing back there, and he hollers down there, "Hey, Cox, I know you." And I just sat back down. No, we had a good time together. But he said he hired you.
He did. And I'll always be appreciative that I enjoyed my days in Rockwood.
Yeah.
Our Vols are going to take a big thumping tomorrow, aren't they?
Yep.
I'd say so.
No way around it. 42-7, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. You think there'll be a quarterback tomorrow?
I thought, and granted, I saw it on Twitter, but I thought I saw where Hooker had been cleared to play. But that you never know. It could have been one of Jimmy Himes' 7 different accounts he's got on there.
Well,
yeah.
If he is, I'll watch it. If it's Milton, I'm not watching it.
That might have been Slimmy Himes.
Jimbo Himes.
Yeah. Jimmy Haynes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, but hey, that game last Saturday, I don't know who was in charge of all the pregame stuff, but it was amazing. The lights, I've made fun of them all season, but they pulled it off. We probably won't get another night game as terrible as some fans acted and as bad as our record is probably going to be. But that was incredible.
It was absolutely amazing. I wanted them to win so bad. The atmosphere was awesome. Of course, your boy was sitting in front of me, so that made it good. But no, the probably the coolest thing of the night was the light show before the game, and then the tee being spotlighted.
Yeah, I seen that on TV.
Yeah, the tee being spotlighted. It was electric. Now it wasn't a sellout. Yeah, there wasn't 102,000 people there. There was a bunch of open seats under the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Up in that corner over there, like the GJ area, that area was it wasn't full up there, but it was awesome. And I say it again, I think Heupel did a great job keeping them in the football game.
He did a good job. Hey, this Kingston gets a little bit of a wake-up call, maybe they, like y'all said earlier, maybe overlooking to the Loudon game. Who do y'all think wins that game and come down to the wire, or are you leaning one way or the other?
For some reason, I think Kingston's going to win that game. I could be wrong, but
I think I'm going to go to the opposite because I think Herrig, as the quarterback for Loudon, probably puts them over the top. I watched a football game tonight, and I've said this for a long time, and David has heard me say this, and he's watched this. When you have the best player on the field or the court on your team, you've always got a chance.
True.
I watched that tonight in Fulton. The reason they won, they had the best player playing quarterback, just running around making plays, 260-plus yards. And Herrig, I think, is a big difference maker. And I don't know that he's the best player on the field because I've not watched these two teams play. But from everything you read and hear, I think he could be a difference maker in that football game. Unless Kingston just dominates the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
But I'm going to agree with you. I think that game could be a tight game.
Yeah.
It could even possibly be a low-scoring game, or it could be a high-scoring game, but still be close too. And it could come down to who has the ball at the last possession.
Yeah.
I know the Kingston faithful are excited to host the game to win the region championship, and I'm sure it'll be an incredible high school atmosphere, no doubt.
Oh, I'm sure it will be too. I'm going to go Kingston.
Y'all do a good job.
Thank you, man.
Hey, thank you, bud.
I appreciate it.
See y'all.
It will be a good game. I don't know how Brad got that game, but man, what a way to end the year.
I mean,
with that game. I mean, you could. I don't know that there's a game. I don't know if there's a game you could pick to be any better in that game.
And I do see what I did read this. Tennessee QB Hendon Hooker will be good to start against Alabama Saturday night, but it's rocky. It's not a
firm thing. They'll see how he's going to do in warm-ups, and they'll make a decision.
I thought he might be up for this.
Well, what happened? Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, guys, I don't mean to call back again there, but I was going to get your guys' opinion on Ed Ogeron there. 2 years removed from winning a national championship, and to be honest with you, I've been watching college football for a long time. That LSU team 2 years ago was probably, I'll be honest with you, that's the best college football team I've ever seen. But
it has a little bit to do with on the football field, but I think it has a little bit to do with some other stuff that's going on at LSU that he's got in trouble over. Some players got in trouble doing some things, and I think he went through an ugly divorce, and I think there's accumulation of not winning and all that, and I think that's what got him.
At the end of the night, Ed Orgeron won a championship on the perfect storm.
Yep.
That was a terrible hire by LSU.
Well, it was still the best college football team I've ever watched play.
You're right, but that's what I'm saying. The three of us could have won with that team.
But, I love to hear the guy talk there. I heard a little story about him that's something other that might have got him in trouble a little bit there. He's probably out eating oysters, maybe having a few cocktails, and he made a comment to a lady there that was married to one of the higher-ups at LSU and asked her if she wanted to go work out with him. And she said she was married and pregnant, and he said it didn't matter to him. But I don't know. That's a true story, but I don't know. I love hearing Ed Ogeron talk there, and I think he's a great recruiter, and he loves LSU. But I guess sometimes you gotta mind your P's and Q's. But still, yet, and if I was him, David, I think I heard you say this other day on the radio. I'd take my $17 million and I'd be sitting in a rocking chair, happy.
Yeah, I would be too. I think some Title IX stuff has got involved here too, and you just don't recover from those things. And he should know better anyway. I don't know that you can blame him. He got blamed for it, but those kids are under his watch, so I understand. But I think it's a number of things. I don't think you can blame it on any one thing. I think it's a number of things. That LSU didn't have a good year last year. They're not playing very well this year. I think the coach we ought to really be talking about is the Florida coach. Is the Florida coach in trouble? I mean, man, they just, I think that's the one that's probably in more trouble, that should be in more trouble than anybody for going wins and losses, but, he's not, so we'll see what happens.
What about Cox there? If he get off that phone for a minute there, who will LSU go after, Jonathan?
I don't know who they're going to get, but I wonder if they're going to call Jamie Chadwell.
I hear the leading candidate is a Michigan State coach.
I mean, I'm serious when I say that. When does he finally get a chance at a big-time job? I mean, he gets Coastal Carolina to 15th in the country.
Yeah, he loses the other night, though.
I went.
Did you go?
Yeah. I went. I'd worked in Bristol Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Went over there Wednesday afternoon. That Appy State atmosphere was
it was good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appalachian State their defensive coordinator, is that a former UT football player, Johnson?
I think so.
Dale Jones?
Yeah.
He coaches over there, I think, or he did. I don't know if he's the defense coordinator or not, but he did coach over there.
I think he's still there. Been there a long time there.
Yeah.
I think the Michigan State coach is the one, but I do agree with you. Chadwell's got to eventually get a shot, but I think it's got to be, I don't know that I just want to go to LSU. I don't think you're going to get 2 or 3 years to turn a program around. I think they think it's automatic day one when you come in.
Smile sometime.
Yeah, but
you can win all your games one year. If you drop off the next year, then you're on the hot seat there. So
that's what I'm saying about Heupel. Tennessee fans are exactly like that. Will Heupel get 3 years to turn it around to get into a fourth year where he should be all right? I don't know that he'll ever make it. It's already better. It is already better. I agree with you. Yeah. But the Tennessee fans are not going to look at that. Alabama gets him tomorrow night. They're going to be on him. They're going to be on him, and they're going to be on him bad.
But isn't 6 wins a good season and 7 wins, above average?
Yes and no, because Tennessee fans don't think 6 and 7 is good enough. They think it ought to be 10 and whatever, 9 and whatever, or winning the SEC. Man, I know some diehard Tennessee fans. Every year they kick it off. This is the year we're going to win the national championship. And it's not the year that they're going to win the national championship.
Where have they been the last 15 years?
They say it every year. This is the year. This is the year. This is the year.
Not happened since 1998.
And not been competitive since 2006 or 7.
That's exactly right, man.
That's right there.
So hang on. That's all I got to say.
Okay. You guys got any idea there? I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's getting into it pretty heavy. Any idea about Jeremy Pruitt's lawyer there putting a deadline on the law?
Just a deadline's all it is. It don't mean nothing until they actually file a lawsuit. I wouldn't worry about it if I was Tennessee and I had their stance and what all they've got. Desperate, people do desperate things. I would do desperate things. What is it, $12 million he said he's owed or something? $7 million or something? I'd be trying to call their bluff, because what if Tennessee says, well, we'll give you half of it? Well, he's come out. That's just some lawyer that's just talking, that's a mouthpiece, and he's threatening a lawsuit. Let's see if he files it. And when he files it, we'll see if Tennessee answers it. They don't have no choice but to answer. They'll have to answer the lawsuit, and then we'll move. And then we're going, yeah, that's right. It could, you're just trying to blackmail Tennessee into doing something. But what I thought was funny was, why would he want to bring Rick Barnes into it and bring all the other people he's bringing into it?
Rick Barnes stood up quick.
He stood up quick, but he's trying to take. He just ain't interested in taking the football program down. He's wanting to take everybody down. So I don't pay too much attention to lawsuits. Let the lawyers for Tennessee do their job, and let's see what happens. Hang on.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See you, bud.
All right.
All right, folks, we've enjoyed it tonight. Next week we'll end the regular season for us here at Channel 12 on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard, but we will be back another week at least, and maybe 2, maybe 3.
I was reading what the guy sent me. This is the first time in the history of Oak Ridge football that they have lost 7 games in a season. So there you go. First time in the history of the... And, hey, it's coming off a runner-up year. That's what's the craziest thing about it. That tells you right there it's a lot more than coaching. There's a lot of internal problems going on inside that locker room. Now, it could be some stuff going on inside the coaching staff because there's a middle-of-the-year change. But... There's a lot more to it than just 1 or 2 things.
Yep, you got that right.
Proud of all the teams that won tonight in our area.
Yeah, congratulations.
Coalfield's rolling.
Coalfield's rolling. Clinton had a good win tonight. Hayden Anderson County got beat. We'll see.
I do too.
We'll see what happens. Last call coming up right here. We'll take it. Quick caller, you're on the air.
I'll tell you boys, I looked at the games that Oak Ridge played in 1943. Oak Ridge played 4 games, lost all 4 games, and didn't even score a point.
1943.
And Clinton beat them 20-0.
Did Clinton not play them twice that year?
I don't know. I just looked it up and it showed Oak Ridge lost all 4 games.
I thought there was one time Clinton played them twice in 1 year. I might be wrong on that. I thought I'd heard that.
Did you play in that game, David?
I didn't play in that game, man. I feel like I did, though. I feel like I did. Thanks, Colin. We appreciate it.
All right,
see you, man. 1943, a little bit before my time, and way before your time, Cox. Hey, we'll see you next Friday night here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. Tune in next Friday night, man. It could. A lot of things is going to change for the playoffs.
Get some playoff scenarios.
We'll get some playoff scenarios, and we'll be ready to roll. So we'll see you next Friday night here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard.
Best show of the year.
Best show of the year. See you.
Yep.
This holiday season, give the gift of health to all kinds of families in your community. Many of our neighbors can't afford medical care. In fact, over 14,000 of those living in Anderson, Roane, and Morgan County live in fear of becoming sick or injured because they don't have health insurance and can't afford to go to the doctor. But you can change that. On Tuesday, November the 30th, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, give at fmcor.org to help provide unmet medical care needs in your community. Together, we hope to raise $10,000 in 24 hours. November the 30th, Give Tuesday, a day to remember those in need during the holidays. Give at fmcor.org.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features.
We're the Oak Ridge cheerleaders here at ORUD, getting ready for the big game. We are Oak Ridge. 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 We can help you clean up after the game with a reliable natural gas water heater and the energy savings of a gas dryer.
Host your friends in style and be the envy of your neighborhood when entertaining this football season with natural gas appliances purchased from ORUD at 0% interest.
Adding a natural gas grill to your home means you'll never have to run to the store before kickoff to fill up that propane tank again. Make the switch today.
You can make the game-winning play by switching to natural gas this football season. ORUD is your affordable energy choice. Let's do it!
Springs had bested Coalfield 33 times to Coalfield's 12. Connections between the two schools are abundant, but a couple specific ones include the highway to get here for Coalfield is named after its all-time winningest coach, Gary Criss. Why is that? The late coach was an Oliver Springs graduate who went on to play for the Vols. He was beloved by both areas, which makes this game special. But a memorial bridge is also on that stretch of highway as well. It is dedicated to Aaron Brady Walls, a young man who donned both pads and jerseys for both of these schools. So tonight has a little bit of everything. You want some math? We gotcha. Want history? We gotcha. Want a rivalry game that has been filled with bad blood over the years? We gotcha. On the OEB Law Game of the Week, day or night, 24/7, someone will be there to answer and give you a free consultation and get to work on your case immediately. Call 865-546-1111 or visit the website full of helpful information, reckingtoacheck.com. That's OEB Law. I'm Aaron Harvey, once again joined by my esteemed colleague, James Hoot Gibson. Oliver Springs has been in the playoffs the last 4 seasons, but that's severely in jeopardy right now. A win tonight would get them to 3 region wins, which would also put them in a position to come away with a number 2 seed possibly. A loss tonight, and they're pretty much guaranteed a 4th seed at best. But that would be contingent on winning in the season finale. You take everything one game at a time, but how much pressure do you think Coach Green and his players are feeling tonight?
Oh, it's absolutely pressure time, and it's rightfully deserved as it's getting towards the ends of the season. And right here, what a game we've got with Oliver Springs versus Coalfield. I'm expecting a classic head knocker right here. And so, yeah, the pressure's high because this is a rivalry game and a lot of similarities between both of these teams and communities going back 40, 50 years.
Last season, Oliver Springs began the season 0-4. This season, Oliver Springs began the season 0-4. Last season, undefeated Coalfield won this Week 9 game by a score of 14-7. Am I overthinking this? Because this kind of feels like we've got an incredible game shaping up.
Hey, you never know what you've got when these two teams match up. There's a lot of emotions usually riding high between these two teams when they match up, and they always, we can remember games 20, 30 years ago that I still remember to this day from seeing some of these guys. So I think we're going to be in store for a big one tonight.
In Week 10, there's a lot of important business to get to around the area, and we'll do just that, as well as preview this one a little bit more. But first, a break on your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Football is back. OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
With one small step, you have the potential to make a big difference in this world. It starts here at Roane State Community College. There's never been a greater need for health science graduates, and Roane State has the program to get you there. With 11 different health science degrees and 7 certificates offered, the choice is yours. Roane State, healthcare heroes start here. Apply now at roanestate.edu.
Patterson's Appliances has been helping families like yours find quality home appliances from trusted brands including Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid for over 55 years. Our knowledgeable appliance specialists know how to outfit your kitchen or laundry room with the right appliances to meet your needs. We service what we sell with our own in-house factory-trained service technicians, and for the DIYers, our parts department is always ready to help customers find the appliance parts they need. Patterson's Home Appliances, because we care.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. They offer mulch, topsoil, all types of gravel, sand, rock, crab orchard stone, riprap stone, and limestone gravel. Mulch & More does light excavation work. Do you need a driveway repaired? They can do it. Plus, Mulch & More can do your water and sewer lines, French drains, and more with Ditch Witch services. So whether you only need a half cubic yard up to 20 cubic yards, Mulch &